Alrighty, let's get started, y'all. I'm freaking stoked. Let's freaking get started, y'all. Skronks. Skronk's Hop House, y'all. That's where we're at now. You're in Skronk's Hop House. Okay? The goals in the Hop House. The fuck? I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. Hop House goals. You know what? You guys probably want to see a person, right? You guys probably would feel like your parasocial relationship was enhanced if you had a face to put to this voice, I'm sure. I mean, honestly, that's how I feel. I feel like my parasocial relationships are better with the individuals whom I have a face to imagine, whilst imagining my parasocial relationship with them, such as Doo-Wop. You know, I feel like I know Doo-Wop well. I feel like Doo-Wop's a great friend of mine who I've got so many great memories with because I see his face. I know what he looks like, you know? And he has no fucking idea who I am, you know? And that's what this is all about, guys. That's what this is all about. Having strong relationships with people who don't even know that you exist. And that's why we're here. So let me find my camera for you guys while you ponder your Hop House goals. How the one time that I actually am like, yeah, let me get my camera. I can't find my camera for you guys. So, this is uh this is taking far longer than I thought it would um, to locate this webcam. And unfortunately, it's starting to seem like I'm gonna actually have to cut. Oh, here it is. Okay, maybe I won't have to cut anything for time. Alrighty, let's get this parasocial relationship cooking, y'all. You ready for this shit? You fucking ready to become parasocially entwined with Schronkle? You guys fucking ready for this? About to open myself up to parasocial relationship with anyone and anybody willing to check this out, baby. Let's go. All right. How do I add a camera to OBS? Add video capture device. Uh, okay, let's try this. All right. It's got a camera, so surely. Yeah, look at this is your first view. This is your first view of our parasocial relationship right here. This little guy right here. You see that? You ready for this, kids? Not literally kids, you know what I mean. Alright. We'll figure out the lighting stuff. We'll figure out a better microphone eventually, y'all. There's cats around here somewhere. The cat in the camera, even, is in here somewhere. Alrighty. So we're 6 minutes in to the Hop House goals. Let's get this show fully cooking. So while I was recording this update, Valve changed things a little bit for us. Valve has now made it so that we cannot change uh, our FPS cap while connected to a server. So that bind that I had in the config for Fps-max 64 and Fps-max 0, that doesn't work while you are connected to a server anymore. This means you have to choose between going fast and going slow. If you're going to go fast, you're going to have shitty FPS. You're going to be capped at 64. If you want to go slow, you're going to have unlimited FPS or whatever it was that you want to play on that's not 64. That's up to you. I think that 90 FPS works pretty well. I think 128 FPS still works pretty well. And it's kind of complicated as what I mean by like works well. Um, so yeah. Um, so here, it's gotta whatever. We gotta accept it. They said you will choose. They said you will choose. You'll choose between unlimited FPS and 64 FPS, and that's what we're stuck with. Welcome to the Hop House, y'all. So you got to hit perfs, and then this is like a sub list here. I should change the symbol so that you know this is a sub list on how to hit perfs. We're gonna cover this in this video today. I'm gonna go as quickly as I can because I've already reshot this once or twice now. So first thing on the list, guys, you need to get the movement hub, the freaking movement hub workshop map. Okay, this is a great map. Some of the functionality of it's broken right now because that's just how it goes with Counter-Strike, guys. We're going to use a cool command to teach ourselves about what we're doing wrong when we're trying to jump around and hit perfs. You are not going to have this alias, cmd underscore trail. I made that alias so that it would print the actual command in the console for me. I'll put that in the description below. It's a simple, very, very simple alias. I'll make another video about giving you guys just a general tutorial on making configs so that you can learn how wonderful this game really is. I'm going to set this to like 90 seconds. Okay. I'm just going to hop a couple times. All right. Hand is off the keyboard. You saw I kept going 250 the whole time by simply jumping. So what is a perf? As I mentioned at the beginning of my config setup tutorial video, a perf is when you jump off the ground at the exact same tick that you touch the ground. You see this orange wire mesh around my character? This is the command for that. Ent underscore b-b-o-x, ent underscore b-box, space player. Ent underscore b-box. Oh, it's under the overlay. That's funny. I just made the overlay today, like I said, so still getting used to it. That's kind of cool. Check that out. Isn't that kind of neat? Okay. So that's how you get the fresh frame, and yeah, so you can see these squares and everything. Where the corner of two of these squares meet, and for three-dimensional ones in the air, like where you're jumping, it's the bottom corner of their intersection. So it's that one right there, that corner, rather than like the top corner. You can see how it's like bottom. It always like defaults to the bottom. So this is what my player trail looks. Oopsies. So this is what the player trail looks like when you get a perf. You can see when you're getting a perf, you don't slow down when you, well, okay, I keep forgetting. Hold on. So you don't slow down when you get a proper perf, and this is what your player trail looks like when you get a perf. There's going to be two boxes on the ground that are connected by one corner at the bottom of the two boxes that touches perfectly with no square in between and no gap in between. That's what your player trail is going to look like when you got a perf. And then when you don't get a perf and you slow down, like you saw in this sequence of jumps, I slowed down a little bit. You get a box in between that represents where your character's like bounding box, your movement box, traveled across the ground, where your player walked across the ground for like one tick. So this is one box in between two. That means that there were two ticks during which I had contact with the ground. And that means I basically walked on the ground for two ticks. I was on the ground for two ticks rather than one tick. If I'm on the ground for more than one tick and I don't jump off the ground at the same tick, I will lose speed due to like my character walking across the ground, and then like my maximum run speed modifies my current velocity, friction modifies my current velocity. But if I only touch the ground for one tick, which again looks like this, it'll be like two boxes touching by one corner. If I only touch the ground for one tick and I jump off at the same time, I will not lose any speed due to touching the ground. That's a perf. Over explaining what a perf is. So you saw what the trail command is. That's in the description below. Let me show you the scroll tool so that you can get an idea of what it feels like to scroll at the correct rate of speed in order to get more perfs. In order to get more inputs that are being input at the same tick that you touch the ground. I'll have this linked in the description below. This is some random guy made this in 2018. I don't know the guy who made this, but it's an excellent tool. I think I found this tool through Trip YouTube videos. It might have been Sleepy Chris. I think it was actually a Sleepy Chris video, one of his videos in 2024. Can't remember who I found it through, but it's a great tool. All right, so red is when I'm scrolling up, as you can see in correlation with my overlay, and green is when I'm scrolling down. Kind of confusing, but just forget about it. Don't get too confused. The goal here, you want the longest, steepest, smoothest slope that you can get without any gaps. And I would say you should prioritize how steep the slope is and how long the slope is over not having any gaps. So the steeper and smoother the slope is, the more jump inputs that we managed to send within a shorter period of time, which increases how likely it is that the game registers a jump input on the tick so that we don't lose any speed, so that we get our perf. So this is a great tool for this. And last thing that we need to discuss for perfs is crouch hops. This is important for every map in the game, not as important for some maps in the game, such as Nuke. What am I talking about with the crouch hop? I'm talking about tapping crouch while you're touching the ground. So you hop on the ground while you're crouching. So I'm holding crouch, as you can see my Z button on my overlay. That's my crouch button. So that's my crouch button. Sorry about that, guys, but it is what it is. Maybe I might try to make it so it's like translated for y'all if you want. Comment down below if you would like me to make the overlay translated from my weird RDFG setup to WASD default binds, you know? So like I would have the overlay show you guys the buttons that I would be pressing if I had default binds. Comment if you think that would be nice down below, or if you don't mind just seeing my weird binds and you don't mind me using RDFG, you can make sense of it. Let me know. So Z is my crouch button, and I'm crouching when I'm hopping. This is really good sometimes for going up slopes. This is really good for avoiding curbs on the ground because like my bounding box can collide with the side of this curb. The orange square around me, the bounding box, can collide with the side of this curb and take all my speed even if I got my perf. So even if I hit my hop right, I might like jump off the ground as I'm like super close to this curb, and then I'll like hit the curb and slow down instead of just like going over it fast like that. So you can use like just throw crouches in to your hops. You can see how I'm like periodically pressing Z, like right as I start scrolling, I press Z and then I let go of Z while I'm scrolling. When I'm doing that, I'm trying to hit manual jump bugs randomly, and it works sometimes. Jump bugs are tricky, and I can talk about them more in another video from the perspective of trying to do them manually. All right, let's talk about air acceleration. It can be really complicated, it can be really simple. For the purpose of this video, let's take it as simply as we possibly can, which is if I do not turn my camera too fast when trying to accelerate in the air, I will not decelerate, or I will not slow down, in other words. If I move my camera at just the right speed, I will accelerate, my speed will increase. If I move my camera too fast, or at too great of a rate of speed, turn my camera too great of a rate of speed to the right or to the left while pressing the corresponding A or D key, I will slow down very, very fast. I will decelerate very, very fast. So keeping this as simple as possible. If I move my camera at just the right amount, I can get in this sweet spot where my character will accelerate in the air and I will go faster, and I can increase my speed in the air. I can do air acceleration with air strafing. Turning my camera left and pressing A, turning my camera right and pressing D. If I turn my camera at the correct rate of speed while pressing the corresponding key, I can hit this sweet spot and I can increase my speed in the air. If I don't move my camera fast enough to the right or to the left while pressing A or D, um, I will not increase in speed, but I also will not decrease in speed. I will not slow down either. Whereas you can see here, if I turn my camera too fast, then I'm going to slow down really, really fast. Like really, really fast. I'm going to slow down I'm going to reach zero like within a second, basically, like within like a 2 second. I'm going to slow down really fast. So while we're learning to strafe, while we're learning how to air accelerate, while we're learning how to bhop, let's take the approach of going fast as much as possible and treating going slow and slowing down like the absolute worst possible thing that we can do. So like look at how much speed I can get, and keep in mind like you see me tapping Z sometimes when I'm going over uneven surfaces. Remember me talking about that in the section about perfs and hitting perfs, and how I just was talking about how you can bump off of a curb. You saw how I just bumped off of that. Anyway, see how little I'm moving? I'm not doing this, I'm not like whipping the camera left and right. I'm like barely moving my mouse. And it's going to be different for everybody, like how much in real life, how far in real life you're moving your mouse. But just try to keep in mind like because our sensitivity is different, but try to keep in mind like correspondingly how far my crosshair is moving relative to how far and fast your crosshair moves. Like I'm not moving it much at all to maintain 286 units per second, or greater than 286 units per second in the air. Like I'm not moving the mouse quickly at all, and I'm not moving at a great distance, or I'm not moving at a great like I'm not rotating greatly. I'm not turning a lot, I'm only turning a little bit. I'm turning a very small amount at a pretty slow rate of speed. And how much you move your mouse in real life is going to change based on, your sensitivity and your DPI. I play at 1344 DPI, which is 2400 DPI times 0.57 sensitivity that I play on in game, if anybody's interested. I'll make another video about my config and my settings and everything. But I think that's really it, y'all. Use the tool to practice how fast you should be scrolling. Steep, smooth slopes with no gaps is how fast you want to be scrolling for the game. And then, once you're good at doing that on that tool, focus on doing it in game and getting perfs more. Try hitting crouch hops when you're going over uneven surfaces like this, If you're coming up on an uneven surface, try hitting some crouch hops. Try throwing in, attempting to do manual jump bugs every once in a while. Because look, if you used jump bug binds before, where you pressed a button to hit a jump bug, all you were doing was pressing a button that unbound or like uncrouched you, even if you were pressing the crouch key and input jump at the same time. So you can just scroll and then try to let go of your crouch key when you hit the ground. And then if you can hit a jump bug there, and you did let go of your crouch key at the exact correct time, and you scrolled sufficiently to hit a perf, you'll get a jump bug, because a jump bug is just a crouch bug combined with a perf. So yeah, so I think this is a good place to stop, because I could just yap and yap and yap and yap and get way too technical about all this stuff. Use the trail command to see if, oh, I thought I was hitting a perf, and then you can check and see. Careful with the movement hub map. It's a little bit buggy right now. All workshop maps are a little bit buggy right now. Just like for some reason the game just crashes when you try to exit to main menu. It's not the workshop map developers' faults. It's Valve's fault for whatever stuff it is that they did to break everything. They're good though. They don't want to get rid of bhopping. It's not true. That's just people who are upset that the game breaks. Justifiably being upset. But practice your strafes. Don't overstrafe. If you overstrafe, you're going to slow down. In the hop house, we want to go fast. So understrafe if you're going to do anything besides hit a good strafe. Focus on speed. I don't practice long jumps. Fuck a long jump. I'm trying to go fast, so we're going fast. And comment down below, add me on Steam, reach out to me on whatever. It's just Schrunkle wherever. Um, yeah, thanks so much for watching. Comment down below if you have any questions. Hope you liked it. Goodbye.